Peak is an AI platform pioneering in decision intelligence, the commercial application of AI to decision-making processes at enterprises. Analytics Insight is super excited to welcome Richard Potter, CEO and co-founder of Peak. Hello everyone, this is Satavisa and you are watching Hot Buzz Scoop with Analytics Insight. For today's interview with us, we have Richard Potter, CEO and co-founder of Peak. Hello, Richard. Welcome to Analytics Insight. It's great to
Hi.
have you here.
Thanks for having me, Satavisa.
Thank you. Now, if you will give me a brief about the services provided by Peak.
Yeah, of course. Peak's a cloud AI platform with a suite of decision intelligence applications that run on it. So essentially, Peak is a SaaS product that our customers use for deploying artificial intelligence and decision intelligence into their businesses. They do that on our cloud platform, and they do that with the applications that run on our platform.
That's good. Now, I'm a little curious to know that how is decision intelligence is revolutionizing the way companies are making decisions?
Yeah, great question. So think of decision intelligence as really the practical or commercial application of artificial intelligence into how we run our businesses, and that's really the next the next frontier for AI in business, right? A lot of applications of artificial intelligence to date have been new things that we couldn't do before, like chatbots or so on and so forth. But the real promise of AI is to help us as companies optimize all the decisions we make, because the value we create is the sum total of all of those decisions. So therefore, let me give you a practical example. If I'm a retailer and I want to decide how much product I need and where to put that product, in which stores, in what quantities, how to price it, and so on. That's a process that I run anyway as a company, but I can use artificial intelligence to make those decisions more repeatable, more effective, and continuous, and essentially improve the accuracy and the performance of those decisions collectively. So if I do that sort of thing, I can power my business with decision intelligence, and in theory, I can grow my business quicker, and I can increase my margins as well. So think of decision intelligence as I agree with the question. It's a revolutionizing force for tech in business, but the reason for that is because it's specifically targeted at enabling us to optimize all the decisions we make with an AI, which is not something that's been done before. So it's an exciting field to be part of.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Now, I want to ask you, if you take this conversation towards the concept of India, what do you think is the scope of decision intelligence in India?
Doing something and moving forward in the space.
Well, how do you think is artificial intelligence is going to power this concept?
Well, I think the concept of helping Indian businesses perform and grow, I think there's a few natural advantages that Indian companies have, and India as a market has, right? It's an enormous country. It's an enormous domestic market, but it's also a big exporter. A lot of the companies that are sort of the big players in all of your industries, whether they're heavy industries and manufacturing and or digital or financial services, those companies are all incredibly large, with often parts of big conglomerates as well, big groups of companies. The sheer scale of those businesses and the scale of the domestic markets gives them a couple of things. It gives them a lot of data, and it gives them big operations. And those two things together can be used to put into artificial intelligence and decision intelligence in practice and optimize how they're running their companies. And in doing so, because of the scale of the market, because of the scale of the companies, the impact can be significant to the bottom line and the top line of those companies. So if I can quantify that for you, some of our customers have achieved huge gains using decision intelligence and AI running on the Peak platform. Some of them have seen top line revenues jump by 5%. They've been able to reduce inventories by 20 or 30%. They've been able to optimize their sort of, let's just say, customer acquisition and rate of customer growth by hundreds of percent against the established baseline. And if you take those kind of gains and you apply them to companies of the size and scale that you see operating in India, then you see huge potential. And I think that that's how things will manifest itself in the region.
Well, since like decision intelligence is kind of like a very advanced technology, do you
Yep.
think that the tech companies in India are more receptive to accepting those, like adapting to those technologies, or are they like skeptical about it?
Well, I think I don't see much difference actually between Indian business leaders and the rest of the world to a certain extent, in so much as you always get some who are skeptical, you get some who are very growth minded and looking to seize the opportunity. I think what you do see in India though is is a real energy, and just to give you to put this in context, I've recently just returned at the weekend from a week in India, talking to a lot of our customers and visiting our offices and so on. One thing is really clear is the energy in the country and that drive to grow businesses, to grow the economy, to create job, to create prosperity is very evident. And what that does do is that flows down into the attitude of a lot of business owners and business leaders as to a willingness to give things a go, to try things out, and to see if it makes a difference. And that's really, really cool to see.
Well, why you have grown this business in India? What are the challenges that you must have faced?
Well, I think it would be difficult for a company from Europe or the US to arrive in India and see success in this area as a like a yeah as a foreign company essentially, without local market know-how and knowledge there. And there's three founders at Peak. Of the three founders, one of us is not me, obviously. One of us is Indian, as an Indian national, and he's built our research and development and engineering centres in the country. More recently, we've expanded commercially. So, at least a third of the Peak team are Indian. That gives us a lot of local market knowledge, and that gives us a lot of an appreciation of the culture and the nuances there, because that is different to the UK and Europe, and it's different to the US. So I think one of the reasons we're seeing growth and we're being successful is that we don't necessarily see ourselves as an English company. We see ourselves as an English and an Indian company that is growing globally, and that's kind of cool for us. I think it gives us a bit of an advantage. And it also helps us understand the unique market opportunity that India presents for us, and the unique opportunity that the technology has to help transform businesses in India. So all of it's kind of great for us.
Well, that's really cool. Now, last question is that what is the future of decision intelligence in India?
Well, that is a great question. Who knows? I suppose if I had a crystal ball, if I had an AI to predict it, that would be helpful. I would like to think our vision for decision intelligence and AI in business is the same globally, and can be reflected into India, which is simply that using this technology, we are empowering business people to make consistently great decisions all of the time. It means that business leaders and business teams are able to perform like superhumans because they have this capability that they never had before. In doing so, that makes our customers more and more successful and more prosperous. And in doing that, companies grow faster, create more jobs, and prosperity because of it. So I think that hopefully what we should see is, in the future in India, as around the world, companies performing brilliantly but efficiently, and doing things that they couldn't previously do without the technology and the data to support it. So that would be our vision, and I hope that India can fulfill it.
That sounds amazing. I'm sure this is definitely going to help all of our viewers too. I'm really glad to have you here today. Thanks for joining us at Analytics Insight. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Satavisa. Great to speak to you. Take care.
Thank you.